Okay, I think I figured out what I was doing wrong. Now I have some data. I had to go back and see past year. And so I changed the window. You won't need to do that. You'll have fresh data from this year. But let's go in and I can show you real quick what that'll feel like. I want to do it specifically for ELA just so you notice exactly how to get there. Alrighty. So inside of your dashboard, essentially, it would be right here from the very, very beginning. When you go into view assessments, okay, with this little silver box, I went ahead and just selected that I was going to choose 10 underscore ELA. You'll notice that all of our tests are coded that way so that you can use that to search, and it'll be a little bit easier to pick, your grade level and whatnot. So I went in there and I've turned on the one that is just with data, this little green button, and I'm going to go down and I'm going to get the 10th grade interim one, I believe, from last year. At least that's what I had just a second ago. Just put a little bit more information in here. Okay, it's really right there for me last time I did this. There's interim one. Okay, so then you just select it itself and you're basically in the test. Okay, and I'm in a lot of tests, so I have more than just my school. But what I would point out to you is that now that I have selected this test, and this is not your data, but district-wide, I can go over here to reports. And when I'm in reports, I can go to view reports. And these will be the tests that I've already created. So if I want to go to reports and create a report, then again, I can title these reports. And it's pretty simple to make as many as you want. So let me go back to the assessment itself. Okay, and then this time, instead of go to the left, I'm going to go up here to this top button where it says reports. And that one to me is the one that has been much easier for teachers to follow the path because what opens is less confusing. It just says, where do I start? Okay, so I would strongly recommend that this is where you start and kind of finding your test and going up here to this tab and going right there. Where do I start for teachers? Now, there's a couple of these reports that'll work better than the other. You can look at any number of them. You won't mess any of them up. But in order to do today's data deep dive, I'm going to focus on the matrix report. Okay, and I'm going to show you just some of the parts and pieces of this report. Bear in mind that this is a bigger report with an awful lot of schools in it. And so I think I'm going to show it that way so that I don't pinpoint any one school or share anybody's data that wouldn't want it to be public. Okay, but what I can do, which is really nice, is I can change the way that we group the standards. And in order to do that, I'm going to go down here where it says group by, and instead of question, I'm going to change it to standards. Okay, I want to keep the color coding. You can change the access of which, if the student's names are across the top or if the student names are down the side. And honestly, I think having the students either way is just a preference. So let's try it this way first, and I'll show you what it looks like. Okay, it takes just a second, and then I'll have a report here. It's a big report, I bet. And it'll be helpful for you as soon as you can see it. Apparently, I may try this video. Another round with a smaller report. Wait, something's happening. Report finished. Fantastic. Okay, so this is a giant report. Hopefully the names are small enough that we're keeping students' anonymity. But what I want you to know is the way that this is organized has the standards and the questions themselves across the top. You could also have the other view where the standards are listed where you see these student names. But this view is pretty handy and pretty simplified. You do have to find a way to kind of keep going over like with a cursor, I think, as you'll see, like I'm using my finger on the button on my keyboard, and I'm moving over more to the right. That way you can see that there's additional parts that haven't been accounted for over there. Okay, in this report, there's a couple things that happen. You can find out a lot about like how everyone did overall. You can see the class percent correct. You can also go in and hover, and this will help you see the questions themselves. So when you're studying, why did they get this one wrong or right? Then you have that example right there for you to go in and study and hover over that question. You'll also see it's got the standard. So this is a pretty simple one. I would encourage maybe that you use this one to experiment with this time, and then maybe look at the frequency port again, or when you've done a data deep dive more than once, maybe you look at both of them, and that could be useful to you. Okay, I hope that's helpful and showing you just kind of how to get to the data. And then the forms that we provided, you'll use those to help drawing some conclusions and making an action plan for how you're going to attack this data. Okay, you know what? I didn't share that screen, did I? Might have to do that again.